What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. Right now you're checking out Lineal Boxing TV with Birdie. Don't miss it, the man is
Steve Bird, Lineal Boxing TV. Again, joined by Mark.
Good to see you, Steve. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. Firstly, how's everything going? This year's gone quick, isn't it?
Hasn't it? This is our third show of the year, and it's a great one to finish up on, but it has flown by, isn't it? You know, we're already looking at sort of 3-4 shows next year, but it's just flown by. Absolutely flown by.
Firstly, how are you? Everything good?
Yeah, really good. Fight week, love fight week. The highs and the lows. I just love the buzz of fight week. You know, it's like an emotional roller coaster, but it's all just building up to a great time on Saturday night. So yeah, really looking forward to it. But great week.
Do you chill on fight week, do you, or you just is it just too?
I think the boxers start to chill because their camps are winding up. All the sparring is done. They've come through unscathed, and now they just start to wind down a little bit. The promoter has an awful lot to do right up till the end of the night. Sunday, I'll chill.
Your phone has to be fully charged, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I take a battery pack with me because it's a bit like that. You know you're busy when you're down to 50% by 10 o'clock in the morning.
So, how's the show looking?
Brilliant. Stacked card. I was saying to you earlier, we've got 3 10-rounders on and some great prospects in that. So, I mean, we've always put on some really good shows. We've had some great feedback. But now we've got some eliminators and title fights. We've got some cracking 50-50s on the card. I think it's what it needed. And we've had some great feedback. And people are really looking forward to it.
Especially we've got these eliminators as well. People are actually really starting their journey now, isn't it? And they're actually... So let's start on Ryan Martin. He's got a big fight, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, current South African welterweight champion, Ndwana, real tough guy. And I had a chat with Ryan earlier on in the week. He's really up for it. And we know with Ryan, the better the opponent, the better the Ryan that we see. He said, you know, getting out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, doing some of these long runs, it gives him that extra little push when he knows he's got it on the line. And this guy is coming to fight. It's a great opportunity. It's his first time out of South Africa. He's got a cracking record. I think he won 3 of his last 4 by stoppage. He's got a really good record. And for both of them, it's a great opportunity. It's an eliminator for the Commonwealth. And in a welterweight, which is a really deep division, that gives them a really big stepping stone for both of them to fight for the Commonwealth at some stage next year. So it's a cracking opportunity. Ryan knows how big a deal it is, and he is up for it. So I think we see the best Ryan there is on Saturday.
And going on from Ryan as well, he had a tough fight, draw last time.
Yeah.
That's going to give him that extra little bit of...
Yeah. Well, Ryan is such a positive fighter that even though it was a draw, some would see that as, well, it wasn't a win. He saw it as, it was a learning fight. I learned a lot from that fight. I didn't lose. I learned a lot. I'll take that and move forward. And this guy was a tough guy, this Ohio. You know, he sort of came in. We didn't have a great deal of notice to prep for him. And he was a really tricky customer. You know, everything sort of that Ryan threw at him, he threw back. You know, it was a draw. I think fair decision, but, you know, there's people in both camps who thought it should have gone the other way. But, you know, it was a great fight. He didn't lose. Now he's in the opportunity and he's looking forward, not back.
Yeah, I watched that fight 3 times and each time I scored it different. It was,
yeah.
But when you got people that high level, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those, some of those rounds, I'm sat at ringside, I think, I'm glad I'm not judging this.
Yeah.
Because they're really tough to call. But, you know, he's come through it, on to the next, moving forward.
Great fight for him. So that's a very good platform for him to sort of like pick that up if he can...
Absolutely. I mean, it's such, like we said, such a deep division. So, you know, you're mixing around somebody of his talent. He's a massive amateur star. He's had some great fights. To get opportunities to get the mix in the top 20, this is one of those situations that if he, you know, gets his name in the mix, and there's some big names out there, some big money fights. So, you know, an exciting year for him next year if he gets through this.
Propels you quickly, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Next, we've got Sam Smith.
Great fight, that. You know, I mean, it was obviously penciled originally to fight Anthony Fox, who's out injured, still injured, as I understand, pretty bad back injury. So he was obviously disappointed with that. But now we've got Jermaine Brown in, an undefeated prospect, good amateur. Seen some footage of him. He's a decent guy, a decent proposition. Sam and Paddy and his team, they think they got the beating of this guy. They got no, you know, they've got no concerns about it. I don't think they're taking it lightly. Sam's bringing a big crowd with him. But this is a big opportunity for Sam. And we're talking about opportunities. The southern area, that's the next step is the English, and next step is the British, and it really puts you in the mix in what is really a deep division again. So it's a really good 50-50 fight. I'm neutral on it, obviously. I'm the promoter. I work with Paddy. I know Sam really well, but it's a great 50-50 fight. Tough to call. But they're both up for it, and they're training really hard and bringing good crowds with them. So great 50-50.
Yeah, that's a fight that sort of stand out for me. They're just so sort of like equal. There's nothing really to give, is there? It's just
whatever the result, the winner's going to be the fight fans. I've used that before. But this is one of those because the styles of both these guys. It's going to be a cracking fight. You've seen both of them. Their records are good. We know what they're about. They've got good teams behind them. This is a good 50-50. This is a really interesting fight. You don't want to blink. You don't want to be going to the bar for this one. You want to be there watching this all the way through.
It could be one of those fights. It just really comes down to who wants it more.
Mm.
When they're that sort of like equally matched everywhere else, it sometimes just comes down to that when they're that.
And a great fight to have on the bill.
Beck Connolly as well. I've got a title fight.
Yeah, great opportunity for her. We know her backstory.
Yeah.
She'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. So it's great to have an opportunity for her in front of her home fans. She sold a lot of tickets for this. Rachel Ball is a tough girl. She was in a fight of the year last year. Only one loss on her record. So she's up against it. She's coming to win. Beck's got a lot of people here. It's a great opportunity for him. And the Commonwealth have said this is virtually a final eliminator. The winner of this will fight for the Commonwealth next year. We'd love to be able to bring that home for Beck here next year.
God, it's such a high reward for her, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you can see she trains like a beast. She is really up for it. So, I said, bringing a big crowd with her, great opportunity. Let's see what Saturday brings. So another great fight for the bill.
And someone like Beck as well. It's great for Swindon, isn't it, being on this sort of card? Just everyone sort of get behind her, and it brings the whole town together, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's local. She's got a good backstory. She's well known in the town. She's building a really good following. She's sort of connected with the army and the rifles, and she's got a big following from them coming along to support her. Great for the town. Great for female boxing, which is going through a renaissance, as we know, with some of the big promoters really embracing it now.
Yeah, Bradley Townsend out again?
Yeah, great, good potential, great potential with Bradley. We're hoping for some title fights next year. So we've got him in with Richard Samuels in a 6-rounder, tough, durable, experienced guy in the other corner, keeping him busy, working on fine-tuning some of his skills. But we're looking at titles with Brad and his team next year.
He's a very tidy boxer, he is, isn't he?
Very tidy boxer. I spoke to his one of his opponents. And he said, that guy's got some skills. He said he's got some power as well. We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah. And that's coming from one of the opponents. So, good to watch.
Someone's been adding on Jay Munn. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Great talent, Jay. He's only 1-0, but he's trained by the Gary Lockett, who's got some great talent in his gym. Yeah. Former 2-time ABA titleist. I think he represented Wales in the Commonwealth. Tidy boxer, real talent. So bit fortunate to have him. He was due to fight on somebody else's show, which got cancelled. So we bumped him over to us, which is great for us. Got great talent on the show. Looking forward to seeing him in action.
Especially training like Gary Lockett, he's been there and done it, isn't he? So.
Absolutely, and has a great team of boxers over in his gym. So this guy's getting some great training, and he only looks after potential champions in that place. So interesting to watch.
But yeah, another good addition now. Harry Webb, can you tell me a little bit about him?
Well, Harry's, we're looking at building him back up. He had a surprise defeat a couple of fights ago against a guy who wasn't supposed to lose against. It sort of upset the script a little bit. Yeah. So then he got injured. So he come back, had a win. Then he had a bit of a long-term injury. So we're building him. There's some fighters you want to be thrown in for titles after you could throw him in for two after their second or third fight. Harry, as Paddy's always said, he's sort of trying to build him nice and slowly. He's maturing. He's sort of a late developer. Got some great skills. And when we see him in the ring, he's a consummate pro. He's very cool. He looks a bit, just very confident, but very outside the ring, very quiet, very humble. But you see a different Harry Webb when he gets in the ring. Always entertaining, and again bring a great following from the southwest. So looking forward to having him back, and we're going to get him out busy and get him a few fights next year.
Another great middleweight on the card as well, Vladimir.
Oh yeah, now he's
got good stories, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's Bulgarian, ex-Bulgarian international, great talent. So he was living over in Western-super-Mare. He's moved over to London. He's going to be fighting for us. We got a deal with him. He's going to be out with us 3 times next year at least. He's got a great team behind him. He's great talent. He's been training with some of the Sanagas guys, and they said this is a guy to watch. So he's building his following. There's a big sort of Bulgarian community in London which are also coming over to watch him. So we're going to be working with him. So the local guys are going to, Swindon is sort of like his adopted fight home, even though he's living over in London. And the Swindon guys are going to get to see a lot more of him next year. But great talent, another good one. The bill is stacked up with some cracking talent, isn't it?
Going on from talent as well, he was probably my best performance of your last card. Jensen Irving.
Slick Natty, aka Natty. He's got some real skills. He's great. He's a great guy. He's got a great following. You see him in the gym, full of charisma, lovely, fluid boxer. I think Paddy's really keen on moving him on quickly into some title fights next year. Some of the opponents that we were talking about that Paddy was throwing in the mix, and I'm saying, are you sure?
Yeah. This
soon? Absolutely right. Let's just get him going. So, we could get to see the year out, hopefully get another win under his belt, but they're going to fast track him. So he's great to watch, great to have on the card.
And sometimes you can see a fight like that and you just know the level, don't you? You can just see it coming out, because he just looked effortless.
Yeah. He says he sort of was quite nervous before, but then as soon as he gets out under the lights, it just takes over. And he just looks cool, fluid. It's got a beautiful style, isn't he? And he can dig a bit.
Yeah. Can you talk about Luke Watkins? Because he couldn't fight the last bill. His opponent couldn't fight.
Yeah.
And now he's got a common eliminator.
It's an eliminator for a British. So it went to purse bids, and we were expecting it to be, I don't know, maybe February. But the other team, the team that won the purse bids, announced the date 18th of January. Just can't afford any slip-ups. Can't afford any injuries. More to the point, I think Paddy's put an article in the press this week to say, I think 4 of his last 5 fights, he wasn't 100%, had niggles, had injuries. This is such a big fight on the 18th of January. He's fit now, 100% fit, and wants to go into that 100% fit. Just isn't worth any slip-ups. And, the guy who was beaten, he would have been odds on to beat him and had a good 6-round warm-up, a good workout. However, he comes out of that with a damaged shoulder, a nick, a cut, or... if he comes out with a cut, it's a 45-day suspension. He comes out with a damaged shoulder, injured hand or something.
It's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk. So I think, if you look at, he put a message out yesterday, and overwhelmingly everyone was like, yeah, great opportunity for you. And because of the way the cruiserweights are all mixing up at the moment, he's up there in the mix, isn't he? He's in the top 10. People are vacating, fighting each other, whatever. There's a lot of movement up there. So he goes in there for an eliminator from British against a tough guy like Well. Yeah. It opens a lot of doors for him, and he'll be on a big TV show next year.
I'm looking forward to watching that fight. How's Paddy? Is he? He's just Paddy.
He's Paddy, but peace brother. Always smiling, always cool. This is just great to be around, isn't he? He just always sees the positive on everything. And this is a tough old game where it isn't always positive. So it's great to be around, but he's good. I'm
going to get some footage actually of the changing room, because it's quite hard to describe to someone. Bob Marley playing. And there's such a range of different... He's got a lot of fighters on the card. And he just chills everyone out. It's just a really pleasant place to be.
Well, you'll know, having been behind the scenes, they're very different, aren't they? There's different changing rooms. There's some which are just very quiet. People with headphones on, getting in the zone. There's people which have massive entourages like the Mayweathers, and they've got the music ramped up, and there's testosterone buzzing. You go to Paddy's, like you say, Bob Marley, it's just chilled, it's just relaxed. He's got all his guys in the zone, and it's a real comfortable buzz in that change room. He has all his guys in the same room. Great, isn't it? Great environment, and that's got to be good for the boxers for their mindset, because they'll all approach fights differently. Some will be more nervous than others. Some will be loving it. Some will be nervous, just want to get on with it. But he's great behind the scenes, isn't it?
And just going on from that, just watching him, he'll deal with everyone just a little bit different. Some people have a little laugh and a joke with. The other time he just puts his arm on the shoulder, knowing he's there. He's very, very good to watch. Very experienced and very...
Well, he's been around, isn't he? Look at his CV. Absolutely. It's great for us to be working with to have something like that on our doorstep in Swindon, to be working with, who's got this production line of quality coming through, and he's got that sort of experience. So working with him in this Fight Time series is working really well.
Is there anything I've missed on the card at all?
Young Johnny Ward.
Johnny Ward, that's right,
Yeah, no, listen.
He looked great, didn't he?
Didn't he? Now listen, he's like...
Ronnie Davis.
Yeah, was trained by Liam Lathbury out in Chippenham. Managed by Ronnie Davis, who's obviously looked after Eubank Senior, now looking after Eubank Junior. Johnny Ward's great great amateur pedigree. He's been sparring with the Eubanks down in Brighton. Now, we were trying to get him matched, and the opponent we had to pull out because he got a cut in a previous fight. So then we were trying to work on another opponent for him. And we were working through this list, and people was like, "I'll come back to you." "No, my guy don't want it. He's really good." "Come back." Nah, my guy, he wants to go out on the road, but he don't want to get knocked out. This guy probably stop him. So this guy, he ticks all the boxes. He looks good. He's a really handsome chap. He's got this big Instagram following. He sounds good. He's got great style. He's got a real punch on him. You know, he put Sneeds down twice, and this guy's been around. Doesn't get hurt a lot. He's usually in the away corner, but this was for Johnny's debut. So the guys in the away corner are just supposed to give him a bit of experience and take him through 4 rounds. Down twice. You know, this Sneeds is upsetting people, putting the opponents down a couple of times. It wasn't. Johnny Ward is this massive talent, I'll tell you. Watch his space, and because of his connection with the Eubanks, I expect to see him on some big undercards on some TV shows soon. You know, he should be on Love Island. He's like that, you know. But you know, he's from the travelling community, so he's got this great following behind him, with real loud supporters on the night, which are brilliant for the atmosphere. But he delivers in the ring, so you know, he ticks all the boxes. Great journey to watch his journey.
Yeah, he has got that star quality about him, isn't he? He's got something very special, very fluid.
Yeah,
he could go far, couldn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, it's great. You know, if you look at BoxRec and look at all the shows on, a lot of the small hall shows, there's some real mixed records on both sides of the card. We've got a card stacked full of talent. We've got 3 10-rounders, which are 50-50 fights with some great up-and-coming prospects. You know, you can say you saw them here first if you come along on Saturday, because there's some great guys. And because of the sort of relationship we've got with Paddy, this Fight Town series, we've got this production line. So you've got people like Luke moving on up to bigger things. You know, we were great to have him on when we had him on. You've got the people working for titles, and then they're going to be defending them or fighting for them next year on our shows. And we've got the new guys on the way up. So it's bodes well for the future. Really exciting times,
isn't it?
Isn't it?
Anything you want to add on it at all?
I just want to say thanks to the sponsors. You know, we've got JTS Plumbing and Heating, we have Acres Payroll Solutions. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do these sort of shows. And Foxwood and Ellen have been really great in helping us get Ryan Martin's opponent all the way from South Africa. So looking forward to a cracking show Saturday. Doors open 6 o'clock. First fight 6:30. Tickets available on the door. Don't miss it.
How much are the tickets as well? It's
start from £35.
Listen, you cannot get better value for money than that.
Absolutely. You know, I'm looking at other shows, and they charge an awful lot more. I looked at some other show, which was a similar sort of lineup, and they were starting from £45, going up to £200. You know, these are sort of 35, 55, 70 quid. Maybe I'm doing myself down. I might start working with ticket price up. I can't do it. I just want to put on a really good show. This isn't all about just making a load of money. I pile it all in because I want to have as many people there and give them the best that I can. You know, and then people will keep coming back. And we're starting to see that now, because you get a lot of sales direct from the fighters. But our percentage of direct sales now, people who just want to come and watch a boxing, it doesn't matter if the guy they know is fighting. I'm going to spend £35 and have a good night out on Saturday, a couple of pints with the lads, and I'm going to watch a boxing. They know them for a cracking night. It's good, isn't it? £35.
And you're going to look back on these cards in a few years, obviously going, and you'll look, I remember watching them at Swindon. Some of these guys will be stars. They will be you.
Well, we've done that, you know. I'm going to watch Riddy Rival on Saturday, on Friday, you know, against Bose at the York Hall. He's fought for me 4 or 5 times, you know, when he was in his sort of 3rd or 4th fight, I think it was, you know, fighting some Lithuanian Uber driver just to build his record up, you know, and as you do at that sort of stage. And now he's won IBF European, WBC Youth on one of my shows. He's won the English.
13-0 as well.
Yeah, he's undefeated, and now he's in for the British and Commonwealth. You know, absolutely. It'd be great to get his signature on that one. I want behind him, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. But like you say, there's some great talent on this card, and it's great to watch their journeys. And then sooner or later, they'll go on to undercards on bigger shows, on some televised shows, and it's just great to watch their journey.
How nice is that for you as well, watching that journey out, knowing that you helped it? And
yeah, well, absolutely delighted to be part of it.
Because you're a fan at the end of the day.
I'm a boxing fan, and I'm at ringside for all of these fights, and I can see some of them, you know, you think they've got it, they're going to go all the way. And some don't for one reason or another, because they might have issues going on, or it just doesn't work out, or an injury gets picked up or whatever. But you can identify, you think, the ones who have got it, and I see the sparring in the gym and what happens on fight night. And so it's great to watch and think, he's doing it, he's going where he should be. So, really is a prime example of that.
As a promoter, can I just go on? Let me ask you a personal opinion. That YouTube fight, KSI against Paul Weller. As a promoter, what was your take on it?
Paul Weller, Nolan Paul.
Oh, God.
That might sell a few tickets as well, you never know.
Everyone wants to fight now, isn't it?
KSI versus, Logan Paul, I think it was? Yeah. What's my take on it? Listen, it's not really boxing. And the old school boxing fan will probably frown, but do you know what? It's professional boxing. They're two guys, they're fit young guys, they're having a go. The numbers that people are talking about, just even for press conferences, is mind-boggling. You'll have the old guard who'll sit there, raise their eyebrows and mutter to themselves how things have gone. But do you know what? If it's got any more people interested in boxing, it's bringing revenue into boxing. How's that a bad thing? So listen, you've got to take it for what it is. It's not true skilled technical boxing. Neither of them are Olympians. They're two fit young lads having a go. And it takes a lot of balls to get in the ring. It doesn't matter if it's for a white collar amateur or like these two celebrities having a go. But they brought millions in. Millions. They made themselves a load of money, made the promoter a load of money. The venues are full up with people who are happy with they got their money's worth. What's to complain about? Yeah. Good on them,
the only thing I didn't like about it is they termed that they were professional boxers. And that sort of makes people think, anyone can turn professional. But when you watch young lads in the amateurs driving halfway across country for a skills bout, that's the only thing I didn't like when they were going.
Yeah, that's why it's in America. The British Boxing Board would never let that happen over here. But in America, I understand it. They'll get some commission which will approve it. But then on the other side of the coin, by calling it professional, you can stack it with a professional undercard. Billy Joe Saunders, Devon Haney, I think it was on the undercard. Yeah. So these guys who spent the money on the ticket to see KSI get to see proper professional boxing on an undercard as well. So, maybe
that's what.
Yeah. So there's pros and cons on both. But I just see it as a positive. Did I pay to watch it? No, it's not boxing. Yeah. But am I going to be critical of it? No, I'm not.
Listen. Two lads getting in the ring fighting for 6 rounds. They have to train for that.
And they were both in really good shape. And it takes, like I said, a lot of balls just to climb through those ropes. A lot of people. I remember back in sort of like the unlicensed days, trying to get some of these huge rugby players and Dorman to get in to fight, and they just wouldn't. And you get these two YouTube bloggers climbing through the ropes in front of millions. Fair play to them.
Yeah. Any celebrities in Swindon want to fight, do you reckon? Is there anyone?
I think every promoter would be jealous of those numbers of this sort of KSA fight. I'd love to put on something like that.
It is unbelievable, isn't it? Like 25 million people, I think, they had at one point watching live on.
I know, even the press conferences were getting, Eddie Hearn is just, rightly so, he just can't believe the numbers.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Shall I tell you what was odd about that? Is that my mother-in-law mentioned it, my teenage kids mentioned it. People don't even know who Anthony Joshua is, mentioned it. It's just a whole new audience, and it's all streaming online and whatever. Us promoters have got to take a look at that, and that's that things are changing. It isn't just the old terrestrial TV.
You have to go with the times, don't you?
Absolutely.
Do you know what it reminds me of is when Netflix come out and everyone's like, oh no, we're going to stick with Blockbuster. You've got to go with the times, and if that's what the market's going, and that's
I remember BBC used to have Frank Bruno, and then Sky get in, and then Frank Warren, and that was a massive change. All this then pay-per-view came in for these big fights. Things change. You've got to embrace it. Don't fight it. You don't want to be all. Some of these old promoters are looking and thinking a bit bitter about how things are changing, but things change.
Yeah. Just quickly, let's just finish on. Did you watch Deontay Wilder's awesome knockout?
I saw the highlights of it, but I understand he was massively. He's behind on every card. But if you can deliver, bring that out of the bag, what's his record? Has he got to be the biggest puncher? He's devastating. And I remember when he was at 20-0, 25-0, looking at the calibre of his opponents. Well, let's see what he's got when he steps up in class. still keeps doing it.
Yeah.
Still keeps doing it. You know, he's putting people away, undefeated guys, durable guys. Bosh, off they go. You know, he's just got it, hasn't he? You know what I mean? What do you think about him and Joshua?
I think he completely knocks Joshua out.
If Joshua gets hit, he goes. But does he? I mean, and it just takes. He was behind on every scorecard. It just takes that 1 second to get to. You know, he wasn't doing anything wrong, but just poof, one comes out of nowhere, game over, and you've got to go 12 rounds.
And do you know what I found fascinating about watching that fight? Is how calm and relaxed this corner was.
Yeah.
They knew that he was down every card. He was getting outboxed, outschooled.
Yeah.
Luis Ortiz is an old school Cuban. They grow up and they're 2 years old boxing.
Yes.
Listen, you can't. You're not going to outbox a Cuban.
Yeah.
They know it all, but they just knew they were going to get to him, and that's what I found fascinating. They just knew they were going to get to him.
Isn't it? You know, he's just the most devastating punch. He'll go down as in history. You know, he's in the top lists already, isn't he? Because you know, people talk about the Ernie Shavers and the Tysons or whatever, but Deontay Wilder, he's proven he's got it. He's putting everyone down, isn't he?
And then if you actually look at his body type, there's not an ounce of fat on him. He's got spindly legs.
Spindly legs. Only what's he 16? He's not even.
He could get down to a cruiserweight if he really wanted.
They could do. I mean, in these days of these big 17.5, 18 stone guys, great to watch, right?
Yeah, that's great for the sport.
Isn't it?
Let's finish on Anthony Joshua. Big fight coming up.
Oof. Were you asking my opinion on it?
Asking your opinion.
Oh, well, God, you know, I don't know. I think Ruiz is all wrong for him.
Yeah.
I've heard he's coming in, AJ's coming in a bit lighter. I mean, knowing how he is in the camp that he's got, he'd have changed all his sparring partners. He's, you know, won't be complacent, which might have been the case before. You'll see a different Anthony Joshua, but we know he's vulnerable. We know he can get wobbled. We know he can get stopped. We know he doesn't necessarily recover that quick. But we also know Ruiz can take it, because before that, Ruiz had never been down. He's got this great amateur record, great pro record, you know, and we know that he can punch as well. Let's see if, you know, AJ's done enough. Who knows what AJ will look like? You'll know within 2 rounds how this is going to go. I don't know how to call it, because we don't know what AJ is going to turn up on the day. We don't know how his camp's been and how they've changed it and stuff. You know, you would have predicted that last time. I made a couple of quid on predicting that, to be fair. But we don't know. What we're going to do? If I was putting money on it today, I'd probably put money on a Ruiz win.
I'll go with that. I think Ruiz is just all wrong for him.
All wrong for him.
You look at Joshua. There's some things as a boxer you can teach, and there's some things you can't teach.
Yeah.
You just can't, just with his makeup. He
His
hasn't got that fast hit movement.
His style he hasn't got the skills to counter that, just because his physique, his genetics or whatever. It's just Ruiz is all wrong for him. But this is boxing, right? You know. But this is going to be interesting to see. You know, Neilson, what do you know? He was, you know, he stopped him in 3 rounds. Right, okay, there you go. But interesting fight nonetheless. You know, we're going to see how AJ turns up. How his camp's been, how his training's been. McCracken would have sorted his sparring partners and you know, fine tuning everything to deal with what they know Ruiz's skills are. You know, I don't think you'll see a different Ruiz. Ruiz is Ruiz, but I think you see a different Anthony Joshua. Yeah. So who knows on the night? From what we know now, it's another Ruiz win. But what we don't know is how AJ is going to turn up, and that might change it then.
And like you said, if you look at Ruiz's history, extensive amateur background. But Anthony Joshua's pretty much learned on the job going along. So.
Well, you know what I find with them, you know, Ruiz had over 100 amateur fights. I think he won 103 out of 106 or something like that. You know, only lost to Parker as a pro, never been down, extensive experience. But like you say, Joshua was learning on the job. I think he got to Klitschko, was learning every fight. And I think maybe the last couple of fights he stopped learning. Yeah. I don't think he improved, so this could be good for him. You know, a lot of the big names lost with, you know, Lennox Lewis. They get, you know, caught, but in fairness, they were, concussive punches stopped him. They got caught and they come back. But if he comes through this, AJ, you know, that's a good sign. If you see a different AJ and see him adapt and improve, it's a good sign for the future, and that'll go, you know, and fair play to him, because a lot of people are writing him off, aren't they? Yeah, you never lose, you learn. Absolutely. Lastly, let's just finish then. How's your year been? It's been busy, isn't it? It's been busy, yeah. Busy, great though. Yeah. Yeah, we put some great shows on. We're getting bigger all the time. I think it was a year ago we were in Mecca with like 1,200 people. Now we're doing 1,800 at the Oasis. Great venue. We're stacking it out, filling it up. We've now got other managers and other promoters want to stick their guys on our shows. You know, people are hearing about this Fight Town series working really well. You know, it's our third one. Our first one was this year, and we're looking to push it forward next year. So, yeah, great year. Big tick.
Really going from strength to strength. It's, listen, I'll just reiterate what a great card this is.
Yeah.
And what great value for money.
I mean, 35 quid. Tickets available on the door. Come along Saturday.
Mark, again, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Steve.
Pleasure. And we'll add to this, we'll have a quick chat and a recap on Saturday.
Yeah, great. Good to see you.